are the 49ers just such a great team that you could literally put anyone in there with a semblance of NFL level ability to go in there and they would succeed? Because, I mean, you got Trent Williams, who threw a punch during the game. They were getting pretty chippy. There was a lot of fighting, surprisingly, between those two teams. No one was ejected, but that was a whole nother debate. But Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Then you've got, obviously, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, is Brock Purdy really that good, or has Kyle Shanahan just made him look that good?
I mean, that's like pretty interesting of a debate because I mean, there's like a lot of, you know, there's like it's kind of hard because like there are some teams that have always just kind of done that, like in the past where they'll be like, oh yeah, like Jimmy, like for example, they were always like, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo, back in San Fran, like, was pretty decent, also had a pretty good team around him. I feel like San Francisco just has a really good team. In my opinion, I could agree with that. But I mean, I guess we'll like come. I want to say like a decade and from now. I mean, that sounds like so long from now, but like just like in a couple years when they don't have those players, like when you get your Kittles retiring, maybe Deebo Samuel like leaves or like one of these wide receivers leave. You don't really know because you can't keep everybody over time. Then I think we'll kind of get like a better idea, better gist of what Brock Purdy is like fully made of, because right now he looks really good, but it's just a matter of time to see like will this shape up with Brock Purdy or like or if it's just the team or not. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough debate because there's a lot of players and quarterbacks out there that this debate has happened.
I don't know if he's the franchise guy right now because Mike Florio said he's never going to be a franchise guy because of his name. He said Brock Purdy is not a name that is a franchise quarterback. It's not a Dan Marino, a Joe Montana. It's not a strong enough name, and he said it sounds like Turdy. So Purdy sounds like Turdy, so Brock Purdy can't be a franchise guy. I don't like that logic. I think that's dumb. And I have no idea how Mike Florio still has a job after saying that.
So, I mean, you could say the same thing and be like, oh yeah, Tom Brady is too generic of a name to be a stud too. Like, I mean, I don't really get where this is coming from, like right. Tom, like, cause you literally could say that too. You could be like, oh yeah, Tom Brady is just a, like his name is so generic that like, he's never going to be a stud. Well, look at what he did. Look at what he did. I mean, I feel like based off a name, I feel like is so stupid. That is like really, really dumb. So yeah, how does he have a job? I
hope that was like a clickbait opinion and it just worked. I want to see Brock Purdy in more situations, because he's already been in these, but where the game is going to come down to the quarterback only, where he can't just hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey, where he's got 2 minutes, no timeouts, down by a possession, and they need to score quickly. I want to see him just like take control, him calling the plays, because they don't have time to figure it out with Kyle Shanahan. He's mobile, but I noticed, and this is the first time I really started paying attention to it, was Thursday Night Football, just because of this debate. He seemed to rely on Christian McCaffrey a lot, which, of course, if you have him, you're going to. But also, Deebo got a lot of yards after catch, which pads Brock Purdy's stat line. And so it seemed like he was throwing quite a bit of checkdowns. And I don't know how many deep balls he actually threw. And this game might not be a good reference point because he didn't really need to throw a lot of deep balls because they were ahead the whole time. But I do think that there is an argument to be made that, yes, Brock Purdy has won 10 regular season games in a row. Yes, he got them to the NFC Championship. he's well overperformed what he was supposed to as far as being Mr. Irrelevant, and now he's the starting quarterback for one of the best teams in the NFL. But, I mean, is he necessarily this elite player that is going to change the team? I don't think so. Like, if you threw in Derek Carr, would the team be better or worse with Derek Carr? I feel like Derek Carr is probably the most average quarterback in the league right now.
I mean, you could say that you could be like Sam Darnold. Like if Brock Purdy was hurt, like you could say like, will Sam Darnold perform the same way in that offense? And honestly, yeah, maybe. I mean, I could probably see it. I mean, I think the team is just that. I mean, go figure. Like we said before, Jimmy Garoppolo took that team to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, granted, and that team was very like different from what it is now. I mean, you didn't have, Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they. I don't even remember who their running backs were during that time. It was a interesting year. I thought that wasn't the year of like Mostert, was it? Was Mostert for the 49ers that
Mostert
year?
was drafted in 2019.
Was he in the 49ers? I thought he was there.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Juszczyk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Laken Tomlinson at offensive linemen. So Kyle Juszczyk, who is now the fullback, was apparently the primary running back at the time.
Huh. Well, I mean, they didn't really run that much, I guess. Because
Tevin Coleman was there as well.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Seeing Matt Breida was there, who's now on the Giants, who we saw on Thursday night.
He did score a touchdown.
I don't see a situation right now where Brock Purdy is the reason this offense is the way it is.
Yeah, no, I don't. I agree. I don't think so either. I mean, I think it's a little too hard to tell. And I mean, he is a field general, but I think the team is just really good. Personally.
Yeah,
I think it's a very good team. And like you said, I think you can pretty much just throw everybody in there. Like, I want to see like how Brock Purdy would do in like I don't even know, like, you throw him in Houston or something for a little bit, see how he would do in Houston, if he can actually perform well in Houston, and then from there maybe. But I don't think the 49ers are going to be like that anytime soon for us to actually like get that notion. But I mean, to San Francisco, they're running with this guy. Obviously he's starting, so obviously they're running with him as the starter. So
right. This isn't even a knock to the 49ers. It's more of a compliment, because we're saying that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have built such a great roster that you can put anyone in and they would win. But I hope, and I'm rooting for Brock Purdy. I just don't know if Brock Purdy is the reason they are winning games, or is he just good enough that he's not the reason they're losing?
I think it's just he's good enough that they're not losing. But it's still really good, because go figure, he's still Mr. Irrelevant, So, that's still like a solid thing. Like, if he is decent enough to, just be able to manage an offense and, like, do pretty well, like, I don't know. I feel like that's something to be proud of, especially, like, because, like, you could throw any quarterback in that offense, but if they don't, perform or anything like that, then where are you at that point, You're going to be losing games and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, I'm rooting for Brock Purdy. I like the underdog. That's just a debate that's been happening, and I think it's